Hey y'all, what's up? I am here with my girl Carmen Summer.
Hey y'all.
My best friend. She's an artist, she's a singer, she's a radio host. What else does she do? She's a host, she's a writer, she's a actress, she's a director. What else?
Learning how to be a director from my director best friend.
She's it all, okay? She's it all. And today we're gonna be talking about staying authentic while creating your art, and making sure that you just staying true to yourself. So let's just get into it.
Okay.
So I guess the first thing that I kind of want to ask is, like, you know, when you are making your art, I know it's so hard as an artist too, because you have an audience, and a lot of the times you want to keep in mind like who your audience is, and you want to serve your audience. But I think, like, as an artist, it's important to think about yourself first when you're creating your art, because for me, I know, like, I want to attract an authentic audience, and I know that the only way I'm gonna do that is by being myself. Like, because if I start trying to do stuff to attract a certain audience or to try to attain people, like, I don't feel like I'm gonna keep that audience with me throughout my entire journey, if that makes sense. Because it's like, let's say for instance, like, if I was being somebody else at first, and like I was trying to cater to the audience by not being true to myself, I feel like after a while, once I did get the audience I want, like, I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm tired of this, like, let me start being me, you know what I mean? And I low-key feel like that happens to a lot of mainstream musicians. But like, at first they might be trying to, like, you know, trying to attain a certain audience, and then after a while they be like, you know, I'm tired of this, like, let me start being me. And then people be like, they change, like, I don't really mess with them no more, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, how do you stay true, and how do you make sure you always being authentic to yourself first when creating your art?
I feel like, is this just for me answering it, or
for you personally?
Okay, so personally, I feel like it's important to take necessary breaks and stillness. I know I talk about stillness a lot, but you know, you gotta find what works for you. And for me, it's being still. Like, I sit still with myself, and I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't used to have a problem with comparing myself to people constantly. But like Maya said, when it comes down to it, doing something exactly the way someone else does it, it's like, it's just not authentic, first of all. And then it's just like, you gotta ask yourself, am I gonna want to continue doing this? Like, if that's not something you wouldn't even done in the first place. So stillness is important for me, because I can sit and really just ask myself, okay, before you do this, does this align with who you are? Does this align with the audience you want to have? Like, I think it's very important to just learn how to sit with yourself, period, in general. Like, people need to learn how to just sit with themselves, because I'm very big on social media. It's so much to take in on social media. Like, it's so much information being bombarded with you at one time, and some people, you on there hours a day. Like, it's very important to take those breaks from social media, and just sit with yourself and really be honest with yourself. And then just like remembering, you know, I feel like stuff like that too, staying true to yourself, I think it's easier to do once you really know who you are and how special you are. Like, it's something about knowing who you are that just makes you feel just better overall about being authentic and being true to yourself, because you know what you have no one else has. Like, and if you start to try to be like other people, what's cool in that? Like, what's original about that? Like, what's unique about that? Nothing. Like, but what's unique is just being you. So that's something that I feel like helps me, is just taking those breaks, and then just learning myself, really knowing who I am now. Like, because that's something I used to struggle with. It's just like comparing myself to other people, and then just like doing stuff I felt other people want me to do, singing stuff I would think people want me to sing. It's just like, no, do you. And then once you do, you have more fun. It's more authentic. So you're gonna shine different. It's just like, once you do it, you're gonna see the benefits of doing it. So it's a whole process. I feel like it's a whole process. It's not just like snap your fingers, it's gonna be easy. And I feel like social media has made it hard.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like a big thing that you said, like with being still, because like I even think about like older, like artists from older generations, like James Baldwin, how like he would like go out of the country and just spend time and just like away from the culture that he was used to, just to, you know, learn who he was and take himself out of like the environments that he was used to.
Yeah.
And you know, like in general though, like artists back then, they didn't have social media to compare themselves to. So, you know, it was very easy for them to be authentic and true to themselves, because it wasn't like a constant comparison. Because like if you was writing books, 9 times out of 10, everybody wasn't writing books back then, you know what I'm saying? Or 9 times out of 10, if you was a musician, even, like, you know what I'm saying, everybody wasn't trying to be a musician. But it is like this thing with when you're being an artist, and especially because social media is such a huge part of being an artist in today's industry, you have to be there, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a bittersweet thing, because on one side of things, it's like you able to connect with people who you never thought, like, sometimes them be the people who you really like be your supporters. It's people who you never met before, like people who you never expect. And that's like the great part about it. But then it's like on the other side of things, it's like it is that constant comparison. Like we was talking earlier about like how sometimes you have to mute certain people, because it's like it's that constant like, damn, like they better than me, or like, or this is like my competition or something like that. And it's a really bittersweet thing. And it's like, how do you have that balance with being present, engaging with your audience, but not like avoiding comparison, and making sure that it's like, okay, I'm gonna get out of my head. This is still me. This is like, I'm still staying true. Because I think that's my thing. Like a lot of the times when I'm like really creating, I just be having to delete everything. Like when I feel my most creative self, I be having to delete. And it's a hard thing, because sometimes when I come back, it's like, damn, now I gotta build up my engagement. I gotta let people know like I'm back, I'm here, I ain't gone nowhere, you know what I'm saying? So it's really a bittersweet thing. And I think but low-key overall though, no matter how long you take a break, as long as people see you're consistent, like for instance, like how you've been singing for, I don't know how long you been singing, like,
girl, since 2014, 2013.
Exactly. So like people know you're a singer, period. So no matter how much time you take back and you come back, it's like, oh, she's still, like, I know she's a singer, I know she's still singing, you know what I'm saying? So once you kind of get your momentum and people like start knowing you for whatever your art is, I feel like it does become a little easier when you can create that healthy balance where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not on there for this amount of time. Even with YouTube, like low-key, I be even thinking that like sometimes I like to watch YouTubers for inspiration, like, oh, I like the aesthetic of this video, I like how they did their intro, or I like how they did their thumbnail. But it's sometimes like I don't want to become them, you know what I mean? Like I still want to become my own brand, I still want to be in my own lane. I don't want to be inspired too much or influenced too much, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point it's like you're not even you no more. So I don't know, I think that's like really the thing. Like even I've like taken 2 breaks from YouTube, and that feels like a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's sometimes it's even hard, because like for people outside, it's like a lot of times people think you're not doing nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's another hard part. They're like, well, what you been doing? Like you slacking. It's like you don't even know, because people, it's like, you know how people say like it didn't happen if it wasn't on Instagram or something. Like it's happening, boo. I promise you, it's happening. Period, I'm slaving. I'm working. I'm tired. But and I think even for me, like that's a hard thing with like my family, like my friends, because like with you balancing between a full-time job and your art, and like fortunately enough, it's coming to an end. But I've been able to kind of focus on my art full time, but that's a hard thing, because it's like, well, people want you to be like going hard in the paint, and if they not seeing you visually, physically, like with their own eyes, seeing you work, it's like you're not doing nothing. And that as an artist is hurtful, because it's like, y'all don't know, like, you know how artists always say like, I'm sensitive about my shit, you know what I'm saying? Like art is so much different from like working on like an online store, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm pushing this stuff out, you know what I'm saying? Or like having, I don't know, what's something else, like some type of service. Like if I was doing lashes or something, like, you know what I'm saying, it's not like I'm like, you know, I could constantly be pushing that out. It's different because sometimes you got writer's block, or sometimes you lacking inspiration, and so as an artist that flow looks different. And I think to a lot of people it's like they don't understand it because it's like you're just supposed to be going hard in the paint, and it's, for me as an artist, it's quality over quantity. Like it's always gonna be there for me, because at the end of the day, this is truly my art. Like it ain't about how much I could do, because I feel like I'll burn myself out like that, and then I'll start hating it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be like, it's not even, that's really why I stopped doing photography for real, like as much as I was. And that's why I told you, like, if I'm gonna do photography, it's gonna be with you, because I feel like when I was doing like events and things like that, I was losing my creativity, and I was like more so like people was like, oh, I want you to hurry up and give me these pictures back. And, you know, like, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And it's like, but you don't even know what it takes to take a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know what it takes. But as an artist, you know, you've been working with photographers, and it's like, I feel like even just working with artists, period, they respect your craft more. You know what I'm saying? So they respect that freedom. Like, even when I work with, like, I haven't worked with too many other musicians, but I have worked with one other one. It was like, he even understood that process. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. That's why I enjoy working with other artists. Yeah. It makes the whole thing easier. Like, I don't know. It just, and I think, it just as an artist, I think it's just like, you just have to, you gotta create your own blueprint for what you want your journey to be like, and stand firm on that.
It's very important. I know another thing that I've been doing is, well, not even been doing, but one thing I tell myself, because I know you was talking a lot about, like, people, when they don't see you putting out as much stuff, they can think you're not doing anything. But another thing with knowing yourself is just like knowing how special your journey is as well. And you know, whenever those thoughts start to come in my head, like, I remind myself of what I'm doing and what I'm preparing for and what I have going on. And that's what's going to always be important, is how you feel about yourself at the end of the day. And things may not be going 100% right. Things may not be moving as fast as you would like them to move. But at the end of the day, like, I know for me, I'm trying to see a bigger picture to everything. Like, I'm at the point where this is what I want to do for my life. Like, this is it for me. So as long as I'm moving some way, somehow, and I see that, it don't even matter what nobody else see at the end of the day. Like, this is me. I'm moving at my own pace. Like, y'all gonna get it when y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna receive it when y'all receive it. Like, and they still gonna take it in when they gonna take it in. Like, and bigger artists do the same thing. Like, people take huge gaps, come back when they come back. Like, it's a lot of artists I still keep up with who haven't dropped, like, in years. Like, I mean, the internet, Solange, like, it's Rihanna, like, it's so many people, and they're bigger names, but it's even smaller name people that I keep up with. They haven't dropped in years, like, but I'm still gonna keep up with them because of their art, and because I mess with them. Like, that's just what it come down to. Like, it's also building your core when you do engage, you know, keep those relationships tight, and then that way when you do come back, them people gonna be waiting. They'll be waiting either way. But like, when you just nurture those relationships when you can, it's gonna always matter. Like, it's a bigger grand scheme to everything. Like, that's how I be looking at it now. Like, just not that one part of the puzzle. I'm not putting out as much as I could be, or I'm not doing as much I feel like I could be, because I am at the end of the day. Because as well as doing art and being an artist, I'm still trying to live. Shit, I'm still trying to survive. Like, literally. That's a lot in itself. So I'm trying to acknowledge all of that. And when you look at the grand scheme of your picture, like, you're going to be proud of yourself. And you're going to be okay. Like, you just going to keep moving on your own time. Like, you have to do what's comfortable for you. Like, you can't, if you try to rush something, it's not going to be right. Like, if you you got to do what you feel is right at all times. Like, trust your gut. Trust your gut. That's going to always be right. Like, do what you feel. It's going to never steer you wrong. Like, your gut ain't going to never steer you wrong. And these people going to always be here. Like, social media is not going anywhere no time soon. Like, give yourself grace, because at the end of the day, it's life outside of this shit. Like, it's life outside of art. It's life outside of social media. Like, that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah, and like how you said, like just respecting your journey and just letting it be what it is. Because like I ain't gonna lie, like it was a point in time where I had like when I think it had been like at least a year, because it's been like a low key almost 2 years since I quit my job, and after that year mark, I remember like having a breakdown one night and just being like, what am I doing? Like, it's I'm not pumping out the art like I thought I would. Like, I was getting disappointed with myself because I'm like, you know, yeah, you've been mentally healing, and like I've been having like the camera cut off, but it's okay. We got it together. But okay, so the last thing I was saying was I was just
not the phone. Battery.
Okay. We're gonna get through, y'all.
Right,
we're gonna wrap it up, but we're gonna finish talking. So it was a point in time where I was like, I was just getting to feel really bad and disappointed by myself, because I'm like, you know, you haven't been pumping out the content like you said you was, you know, when you decided to take this break from quitting your job. And it was like, and honestly, it was a lot of the behind the scenes work going on. Like, I low-key glad to stop, because like when I first quit, I started taking a lot of online classes and like learning about the camera from like my photography and my videography. And it was just a lot of stuff that had to happen that wasn't gonna be able to be seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was just like feeling this pressure of just like, what have you done? And then I remember I was vaping on my couch, and like all of a sudden I just had a thought come to me, and I really feel like it was in my ancestors. Like, I was telling my mom, and it was just like, you know, if this is what you want to do, you're gonna do it, period. Like, it's no time limit, it's no deadline. Like, if this is what you're passionate about and this is what you enjoy doing, you're gonna continue to do it regardless. So it's gonna be growth, it's gonna be a journey, you're gonna continue to get better, period. So yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and then I also was talking about how I had seen Andre 3000. He did an interview, because you was talking about like how like, you know, you gotta appreciate your journey and like how it is, because sometimes, you know, in the beginning you got that freedom, you don't have that pressure, you know, when you like are a smaller artist. And he was just talking about how like he missed the days when he was a smaller artist, because he could just create freely. Like, he didn't have to think about everything. Well, like, whereas now he's a bigger artist, and like everybody is dissecting every single word that he says. Like, in every song, it's like, oh, he said that word, like he's talking about the government, or like blah blah blah. And he's like, dang, I just can't say what I gotta say. You want to say? I can't just get it off my chest and say it how I want it to be said. And basically, like, he felt like he don't have that freedom, or like it's like, because he is such like a icon, really, like people is expecting everything to be like the greatest hit ever every time something drops. And it's like, sometimes not. Like, sometimes it's just, I was doing it for fun, or sometimes it was just like, this is just for that audience, and it wasn't supposed to be like a #1 record, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you really do have to appreciate this journey, even while it doesn't feel like I'm not getting the credit that I deserve, like I'm working so hard while I'm not getting recognized. Like, you really have to appreciate the journey for what it is and how it is.
I agree.
So yeah, y'all, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just really wanted to talk about that, because I feel like as an artist, no matter what you're doing, whether you're dropping YouTube videos, if you're a musician, if you are a painter, if you're, you know, you draw, if you are a poet, if you are a videographer, a photographer, like, at the end of the day, I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is just like, you know, enjoy your journey. And just stay true to you, because that's how you're gonna attract the audience that's made for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's an audience for everybody out here, period. Like, it's somebody for everybody out here. Just like I said, for relationships, it's the same thing with art. Like, if your art is true and it's like really hitting your heart, it's gonna hit somebody else's heart, and it's just period. Do you got anything else to say?
Piggybacking off of what Maya said, just continue to, as cliche as it sounds, just believe in yourself. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to be consistent as you can. And continue to tell yourself that it's more to life as well. Like, you know, don't be too obsessed with your art. Don't be too obsessed with, you know, making it, because it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. You know, nurture every part of your life, because it all has to work together for your art to even work. Like, you know, nurture every part of your life, and yeah, take care of yourself and enjoy the journey, and just, you know, you got this. Like, this is if you made it this far, this is for you. This is our life. Like, life as artists, like, this is us. Like, this is what we do, and we gonna make it happen. Like, period. Just tell yourself that. And even if you feel like it's something that you consistently have to tell yourself, that's okay. Like, this is, you know, you still might have those days where you're down. You may still have those feelings, but pick yourself back up. Like, that's just, you know, that's just what it is. So yeah, that's my last words.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe to Carmen's on my channel. She got a channel. She be talking about everything.
Yeah.
Y'all know, if y'all gonna subscribe to me, y'all might as well subscribe to her, period. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend, your artist friends. And yeah, we love y'all, and I will see y'all next time.